Hey, Paige. Hey, Georgiana. Let me see. I need some gum or something. Hey, Alyssa. Caitlin, this is crazy. But I can't say that I'm surprised. I might be surprised it happened so soon. But sadly, I feel like the way the experts set these couples up, can't nobody be too surprised, you know? Hey Sabine. Hey, it's Ray Ray. Yeah, them too. Them too. But then we all see this coming. I mean, I definitely did. I feel like some people like fell for the hype, but nah, I couldn't. I couldn't. I saw they were on the Ball and the Beautiful channel that came out today, but I didn't watch. I watched the video, guys, and we'll talk about it. But I heard that was filmed 2 weeks ago. So child folks wanted to cape for them like he just doesn't like cameras. No, he didn't like her. Child. They seem very forced and fake. Hey, Chandra. This makes sense to me. They were putting up a whole front. Also, this is recent. I'm not surprised either. We been peeped it. Yeah. I mean, I definitely did. Like, whenever I watched the show, like, it just they never really clicked. And then, well, let me just talk about them on the show. And what from my observation, I've been watching this show since season 1, right? You cannot have that many deal breakers in a relationship and make it like long term. I just don't see it happening. Like, I really thought that, they probably should have said no on decision day, because I mean, look at how many things they had working against them. Last season's cast was trying to put on a performance. They only fooled themselves. True. I feel like they were able to like kind of hide behind what was going on with Chris and Paige, because obviously your relationship is going to look better in comparison. So I feel like for them, it was easy for them to try to put on a facade, but that can only last for so long. The interview with the Ball and the Beautiful was really good too. And you know what? I watched it, y'all, because I found out about the interview after I found out about them separating. Well, no, actually, I did see that they did the interview, but I didn't watch it until after this. And so maybe because I was looking at it through the lens of, these people getting a divorce, it seemed fake to me. You always are able to pick out people's, mannerisms and what's not coming off as genuine after you know the truth. But like, I'm just saying, like, Ryan, first of all, I feel like Ryan took over the entire interview. Like, Clara answered some questions, but I feel like Ryan, like, I could tell he's a talkative person, and he's, is very charismatic, and he has a great personality from what I can see on there, as far as being able to like socialize. But she didn't really say much. When she did speak, I did appreciate what she had to say. Like, when she talked about how she wasn't really able to be herself because just the whole environment of the cameras and being on TV, it just made her really anxious. And it was very relatable, because I feel like if I were to ever do a TV show like this, I probably would be the same way as Clara, to be honest. Even though she came off as, I don't know, even though we felt like Ryan was the one holding her back, she said it was her nerves, she said it was her anxiety, but she still came off as someone who was, I don't know, outgoing still, you know what I'm saying? And we just have to know that just because people seem like they're like not an introvert, or, you know, they're very talkative and they hang out with people and able to converse with people easily, that doesn't mean that they're not, you know, anxiety ridden. And so I thought it was very interesting to see that, for her to say that, because it made sense to me. I had a suspicion because they weren't on couples camp. Pinky, did you notice that they posted the exact same statement? Yeah, let's go ahead and get into their statements since, you know, since you brought that up. So here's what Ryan said on his story. After taking some time away from cameras, we have reached that point in our marriage where we know it's better to go our separate ways. It's not an easy decision to make, nor do we take these next steps lightly. Grateful to all who stood by us and continue to stand by us as we make this very difficult decision. It goes without saying we remain friends and hope for nothing but the best for each other. Very generic and vague, very PR statement. Like who actually wrote that? I mean, he could have written it, but very, you know, this is the kind of statement celebrities put out when they're about to get divorced. And then let me just go ahead and read Clara's. After taking some time away from cameras, we have reached that point in our marriage where we know it's better to go our separate ways. It's not an easy decision to make, nor do we take these next steps lightly. Grateful to all who stood beside us and continue to stand beside us as we make this very difficult decision. It goes without saying we remain friends and hope for nothing but the best for each other. Could have at least typed it up with a little header. She basically just took what he said and switched up a little bit, you know, so they wouldn't get accused of plagiarism, you know. So they both won't get an F on their paper. No, the crazy part is, y'all, okay, let me read her last little part first. I'm just all over the place. She said, for obvious reasons, I'll be taking a break from social media for a bit to focus on myself. Thank you to my family and friends who have been so supportive. And please forgive me if it takes a while to return messages. Okay, girl, we get it. Child, you know, Ryan read that message and said, see, all these grammar mistakes is why we not clicking. Okay. That is crazy. So, okay, let's get back to the interview because I talked a little bit about the interview. I watched the interview. First of all, like I said, I feel like Ryan kind of took over. The main thing that I took from the interview is that they claimed that they had been intimate the entire time, basically. I mean, they didn't really give a timeline as to when they started and stopped. That side note, I wish when people interview, like when they do these interviews, that's why I don't watch a lot of interviews, because I feel like a lot of times the person doing the interviewing over talks the guest, or when they ask a question, the person talks in circles so much that they never actually answer the question, and the interviewer never doubles back and makes sure the question gets answered. And also, when something big comes out, like when he dropped a bomb of they were like actually intimate the entire time, because clearly that was their entire storyline, and that's like kind of mainly what we cared about in this interview, you know what I'm saying? When that bomb actually dropped, they kind of like talked over it, and I'm like, wait a minute. I feel like everything should have stopped. I feel like they should have stopped the wait a minute. Stop. I feel like Miss Kev on stage tried to do that, but got overtalked. But I just wanted them to like, wait a minute. Please. Before we move on, I don't want to hear. I know you want to finish your thought, and you will. But what do you mean? Y'all basically y'all were intimate the entire time, because from what we were shown, like, I need to know, was there dishonesty on your part, or maybe y'all were evading the questions, or maybe y'all were trying to put on for the cameras in order to, you know, keep some privacy. Like, I just really wish they would have dived into that further, because that was such an integral part of their storyline. Oh, I could definitely believe it was Ryan's decision to keep it, like, you know, behind closed doors. But that's why I wish they would have asked, like, why did y'all choose to do that? Like, I would have loved to know the why. They shouldn't have done the interview if they knew it was coming out. Maybe this was like spur of the moment. Maybe something happened so like that maybe something so serious happened that they were like, well, I just cannot stay with you after that. I don't know. Because why would you do an interview like this and then turn around and get divorced? Intimate to what degree, though? We know she was taking care of him. They also said that wasn't true. I don't know. See, that's the thing. They didn't clarify. They didn't make them clarify what they meant either, because they addressed like Clara, like basically taking care of him every night, and he just was like, well, it wasn't every night. And I don't know. I just didn't get any clarity from that. Like, he was like, it wasn't every night, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it was happening, and you weren't returning the favor. Like, he didn't say he returned the favor. So like, y'all, I don't understand. Like, I left the interview more confused than when I went into it. I'm just gonna be real. Like, and it's not like, y'all, it's no I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to shade Kev on stage, Miss Kev on stage. I like them, I follow them, I watch them, I enjoy their content. This interview just left me more confused, like, and to the point where I really want answers, because now y'all getting divorced. And they claim, in the interview, they claim to like things better off camera and be able to be themselves more off camera. And it just seems like they were adjusted to married life, and it's just so much better now. Like, was all of that a lie? Were y'all putting on in that interview? Like, it didn't make any sense. And it just made me feel like, I don't know, like, I don't know. I'm frozen. They are so calculated. I think they just want to go out making it seem like they really tried or had a really good relationship, but there was never anything there. I just don't feel like there was anything there either. Okay. I'm not frozen. Good. Ryan is too analytical and calculated. I feel like he was the main issue. I could agree with that. I could agree with that because it's like he wanted to control the narrative. I feel like it seems like because from the interview, he really took over, and like he would have those moments where he would be like, oh no, you can talk, but it just felt like he was trying to jump in there and really control the narrative. And like I said, it's easy for me to say that now that I know that they're getting a divorce and I watch it through that lens, but it just seemed like throughout the entire interview, because I'm like, Ryan, let her talk, let her say something, let her answer a question. Like, the only questions she really answered was the ones that were kind of mainly directed at her. But other than that, Ryan kind of took over, and I just didn't like it. But she did say at one point, like, y'all are crazy if you would think that I will let a man control me or let a man, you know, control how I am. I'm not that type of woman. But I don't know. Maybe what you think you're doing is being submissive when in actuality Ryan is kind of controlling. Like it seemed like he was. He was like that the entire show. Married at First Sight is out here playing with people's lives. I mean, I agree because part of me feels like, well, you should. Part of me feels like, I'm sorry, I was laughing at something somebody said. Part of me feels like you should do your research into Married at First Sight and like, you know, dig as much as you can before you sign up for this show. And a part of me feels like they are like trying to do the opposites attract theory where you put two opposites together and, you know, supposedly that's supposed to make them work. But it has not been working. You know, she doesn't believe in religion. Like I don't know, the interview kind of like muddied how, I don't know, muddied how I don't know, like, does he even believe in religion? I don't know. The way his interview kind of left me confused on that too. Like, I think he definitely believes in God and he's a Christian, but he doesn't believe in going to church. I don't know, y'all. They left me with more questions than answers. But either way, he believes, she doesn't. So I just don't see how that's going to work, especially when you have children. The fundamentals were not right between them. Exactly. I feel like that's a deal breaker. Dr. Pepperdims did say they were doing opposites attract, but it didn't work how they thought it would. Why would you do that? Now, I would I usually appreciate what Dr. Pepper has to say, but that really what? I know that wasn't rooted in science. And maybe she had to go along with it because that's what the show wanted to do. And you know, I feel like a lot of things the show wants to do and the experts are the face of the show, so they get a lot of the backlash. But maybe they had to go along with whatever, you know, the showrunners wanted to do or whoever comes up with all this stuff. But that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. You're marrying people. This is not a dating show. This is not testing out, you know, people in different dating situations. They're actually getting married. And it makes sense because they matched everybody that were opposite. Um, except for I would say that Vincent and Brianna probably were not. They don't seem like too much of opposites as far as, you know, morals and things of that nature. But I've been told y'all, I felt like none of these were good matches. I feel like every single last match from that season, from season 12, was a bad match. I feel like they were poorly matched And it's starting to feel like it was done on purpose. I think it was, you think it was all production? My friend be trying to convince me to go on this show. I'm good, frustrated with single life sometimes, but I'm good. Somebody said, if they had like a Married at First Sight, but it wasn't, they didn't film you, they would sign up for something like that where you got married at first sight, but it wasn't filmed. And I could see doing something like that more than this, because clearly rate things like ratings and wanting to produce a great TV show come first. It comes before giving someone a decent partner. What's the stats for this season? This got to be their worst season yet. I'm sure they had some high ratings on like the most ridiculous episodes with Chris. I'm sure they got some really high ratings for that, but I doubt like once Chris left, the ratings were as high. I feel like they probably took a huge note. Now this is just me. I don't know, but I would think they took a nosedive because people were tuning in for the mess. People that had never watched Married at First Sight, had never seen one episode of Married at First Sight, watched this season. Okay? For the mess. But do you think they really stuck around to watch the rest of those couples? I highly doubt it. Super chat. Thank you so much, HFG. I feel for them, but many saw this coming. After a whole season of weirdness, he had to be forced to tell her he loved her at the reunion. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I couldn't get past that, among many other glaring red flags. Thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate it. And yes, I totally agree. Thank you for bringing up the fact that he literally had to be forced into saying I love you. Like, and in their interview, Clara was like, well, I never said I love you first. Okay, it's not about you saying it first. It's about why did he say it first? Literally, it had to be pulled out of him by the host. Had the host not pulled that out of him, would he have ever said it? And then y'all had the nerve to be having a vow renewal, and he had never said I love you. Like, what were y'all gonna say at the vow renewal? What were y'all gonna do at the vow renewal? Oh, I really, really, really care about you. And Ryan has a great way with words. Like, he's really good with giving you a nice speech. Okay? But if he never put no actions behind that, if he never actually romanced you or whatever, I didn't see it. He did that to look good. I really feel like he did. How are we going to renew vows without I love you? Exactly. Ryan was probably thinking in his head, man, Kevin got me saying I love you to this lady I barely like. I wish he would just, I don't know, like just be completely honest. Maybe he didn't want to hurt her feelings. I don't know. I'm still convinced he's hiding something about his true self. Something is off. He's trying to control the narrative for a reason, and I don't know what that reason may be. Oh yeah, I heard Amelia and Bennett were divorcing. What? Do we have wait. Do we have any proof though? Because I can't. Y'all try to my heart. Like, what are y'all doing? Now, Amelia and Bennett, I thought that was a really good match. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. I've heard that too, but I haven't seen proof. Yes, they're divorcing. I need proof, y'all. I can't just go off no word. I need some proof. Because that's crazy. Wow. What is going on? You know what? I do. You know what? Now that I think back on it, the pandemic. Well, let me not say that word on YouTube. The panty really did have, a huge effect on even couples that have been married for years, let alone, I just married a stranger a year ago. But I just felt like I just thought they could push through it. I could see Bennett and Amelia divorcing. I wasn't seeing it for them. Amelia wasn't serious enough. Amelia did say she just signed up because she wanted to be on TV. Now, she said that out of her own mouth. So, like, as much as I feel like maybe she was infatuated with him, but after a while, that infatuation could have worn off. The panini, the Panda Express. You can't say that word on YouTube. Shoot. There's an article on Soap Dirt about Amelia and Bennett possibly splitting, but I just want something a little bit more concrete. The panoramic Pandora bracelet. She didn't clean up either. That's one thing that turned me off about Amelia, because she was not trying to clean up. And girl, ain't nobody finna sit up here and just clean up after you. Now, if this is when she like if she was in school or she was taking care of all of the bills, I could see where Benny could pick up, the slack, if she was paying all the bills. But if Bennett is working and you're working, y'all need to come home and clean up equally. Somebody go check on Amani and Amani and Woody, they on vacation right now. But then again, that don't mean nothing because they Clara and Ryan were just on this interview. But they seem like they're doing good. I've been watching them. I've been keeping my eye on Amani and Woody because they're one of my faves. I'll take Bennett and his Scrooge nightgown. Sure. Hopefully not true, but Amelia went on the show as a joke to me. Add that on Bennett leaving New Orleans, probably bound to happen. I think Bennett and Amelia could have made it under the right circumstances. I mean, it's been stressful. Bennett was nasty too. So surely that wasn't the issue. You right. Both of them sitting up with black feet and recycling them same pajamas. I am screaming. If Amani and Woody split, I don't want no type of married friends. Me either. It's a few couples that if they split, like I'm done. And that's Woody and Amani, that's Deanna and Greg, that's Keith and Christine. Yeah, those are my three. If they break up, like I'm just gonna be like, no, ain't no way. We all gonna collectively come together and have an intervention if any of them want to divorce. Y'all are not, okay? We figuring this out. We going to couples counseling. We all gonna stand together against that. Y'all remember how Bennett was sweeping? I do. Yes, Miles and Karen seem genuinely happy. Look, from what I see, they do seem happy. They do. They do. I mean, but I'm not putting all my chips on them. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, but they do seem happy. What's going on with Shanice and Jeffy? The last time I saw them, they was hollering and screaming and arguing as usual. It's just dysfunctional, y'all. I just don't know how they do it. Like, that's a little bit team too much. And then not only are y'all doing that behind closed doors, y'all are filming it and putting it on TV. So let me get back to Clara and Ryan. So do y'all think they were like faking it this entire time? Do you think they were just going along to get along? They were just trying to put on a front, like, cuz it just doesn't make any sense how they did that interview just 2 weeks ago. It just doesn't make any sense. And somebody mentioned it earlier. They didn't do couples cam, and maybe because they knew that their true colors was gonna be shown. I'm on Ryan Page reading the captions on these fake forced posts of him. Yes, yes, yes. Y'all think they're faking. Okay. Clout chasing. Wait, I thought Ryan, girl, I don't know what that was. I don't know what that interview was. Damage control. Ryan is a Christian and Claire is not. The lies, the lies, the lies. Because that's very deceptive for them to do that interview. If they knew, I don't know, unless something major had to happen between this interview. Because y'all, I don't know. It's not making sense to me. It's not making sense to me. Season 12 was the Cap Olympics. The interview hurt them more than anything. They should have never did that interview. They should have never did that interview. Because if they would have never done that interview, even with the fake posts or whatever, I would have been like, okay. Because I didn't think y'all was gonna work anyway. But y'all got on here and put on and acted like y'all were so happy. And honestly, now that I think about it, Clara, she was just as monotone. She seemed like she was kind of forcing it. They said they did the interview 2 weeks ago. But see, I knew at the reunion, I knew it was coming off a little fake on Virginia and Eric's part and on Clara and Ryan's part. And so I am not surprised both of them are in divorce court. It does not shock me whatsoever. Clara always looking like an accessory puppet to Ryan. Yes, like she always looks like she waiting to get his cue before she can say something. It always looks like she's like holding back or wants to say more, but he doesn't want her to do it, so she just it does. Yes, that's a good analogy. It comes off as an accessory or a puppet. They've been having problems. Marriages don't end that quick, even if everything's fine. Exactly. Right. Because if everything was just fine 2 weeks ago, why y'all divorcing 2 weeks later? Like, I knew they were over when they couldn't confirm the wedding vow renewal. So them renewing their vows and planning another ceremony was fake too. Cause I'm just like, why are y'all going through all of this? You know, a part of me feels like maybe they were trying to make it work because, you know, they had made it this far. Maybe they were trying to like keep pushing through and it just, they just couldn't. But the other part of me just feels like it just y'all were putting on. Y'all, it wasn't real. Clara scrubbed Ryan's existence from her page. Who else is divorced now? Well, all I know is that Virginia and Eric have filed, but they're being very hush hush about it. I'm thinking that the reason why Virginia and Eric are not being forthcoming or trying to like cover it up is because they're on their show Couples Cam, and they probably can't like reveal, what's going on right now because they're on that show, you know. But in case y'all didn't know, like it was either last week or the week before that, um Chris completely put all of them on blast. I didn't cover it because I didn't really want to give him too much attention, but he pretty much put all of them on blast. He put out, proof that they were getting a divorce, and he was going in on her talking about how she was fake because, she was trying to act like they were still together when in actuality they, were had filed for divorce. Virginia and Eric knew early on too, but stayed on for the check. I could believe it. Let me see, do I still have these screenshots? Because I took screenshots. I just didn't feel like it. He irritates me. I don't care. He might have been 100% right about everything he said. He still irritates me. He still irritates me. But he did say something else interesting about Paige that kind of made me give her the side eye as well. And I did feel like on decision day they were putting on a show. And whatever he said kind of put her in the light of, basically what he said was Paige wanted him to continue to pretend like, they were going to, try to work or he make him come around so she could still get her check for the show, right? I could believe this. But what he was saying is that he didn't know that she was like kind of making him look worse or whatever. I don't know. I could believe some of that. I really could. Because now that I think back on it, Paige saying all that stuff about, well, I'm still married and this is something that God ordained. She definitely was playing it up. This man wasn't giving you no time of the day. So why were you thinking at all that he was trying to that he was ever going to actually try to make this work? He bought his baby mama a whole car. What makes you think that he was really trying to work it out? So that just makes me think that that's true. Even I don't want to give Chris no credit, but I could believe that. And she was playing up the whole, she was playing it up. And the thing is, Paige, you did not have to do that. I definitely feel like we were being played on different fronts, especially when they brought out Pastor Dwight, giving very much Jerry Springer. You can't tell me that Paige didn't know Pastor Dwight was coming. And then she was acting so, oh my, and yeah, yeah. Is the money worth looking like a fool on TV? It must have been some pretty good money, child. Cause I thought she had a good job. Like I thought Paige was doing well in life. Why would she do this? Not Jerry Springer. He said Paige lied about the phone number being changed and how she put on a lot for the camera. He stated they did it for the money. Like I could believe it. But Chris, that makes you fake too. Like you're just as fake. You're just as fake um for playing along, you know what I'm saying? But, I'm glad I didn't feel all the way bad for Paige. Some fronts I felt bad for her, but for the most part, I didn't feel too bad because like even if what was happening was real, you still was putting yourself in that situation. But to find out that you were acting the whole time, I'm just like, girl. 20K? Now, would y'all play a weak woman to a crazy man on TV, and all you got to do is film a couple of days and pretend to cry and play up all this, oh, woe is me, and I just came here to be married, and would y'all do all that for 20K? Not, it's not good money at all. Maybe 100K. Never. It's not worth the humiliation. It's not, y'all. Like 20K, it's not. It's not. Especially not to somebody like Chris. Like Chris, not somebody like that. Because Chris meant every word he said. Regardless of whether he was going along with it or not, he meant every word he said. He ain't fooling nobody. I shall not be dragged on Black Twitter. I mean, and the subject of so many think pieces, so many YouTube videos, people who have never watched Married at First Sight a day in their life did videos on this. We're tweeting about this. We're talking about this. You know what? Now that I think back on it, my grandma said something like that. My grandma said something like Paige was oh, she liked this drama. She liked this. She did. She called Paige out a few times about how she thought Paige liked the drama and she was playing along. So maybe I should have listened to her. My grandma be knowing, y'all. She be knowing. Well, now we know why Haley broke behind kept filming with Jacob. Grandmas be knowing. Paige is a glutton for punishment. Your grandma said it too. They can see through all that stuff. They done been there, done that. But it does make sense why not only Haley stuck around, but Jacob stuck around. I would do one with my grandma, but she don't want to do it. And it's the best, y'all. Like, it's probably for the best. They were all playing games phony. They weren't being real. Y'all saw Jake challenging Chris. Yeah, I saw that. He was being very, like, I don't know. He was saying some things that rubbed me the wrong way, though. Like, I'm already, like, not here for Jacob after hearing what he said about, discrimination against Black people not being real, basically. But then when he was talking to Chris, he basically was saying, like, you acting like a girl, or essentially saying you acting like a girl. Don't put that on us. He acting like, I don't know, you could say he acting like a baby or whatever, but I don't know. Don't place that behavior on women, because Chris is not acting like a woman. He's acting like a narcissist. He's acting like a jerk. He's acting like a punk, but he's not acting like a woman. A lot of y'all have never liked Jacob. I will give you that. A lot of y'all have not liked Jacob from the beginning. And I was having pity on Jacob for what I thought he was putting up with. You know what I'm saying? I think he was putting up with some crap, but he was probably giving some crap that we didn't know about. Chris talking about he'll only do it for 6 figures. Nobody want to see him get beat up. Low key, if Jacob really have them hands and really give it to Chris, and Chris will really stay in the ring and get beat up, I might actually pay to see that. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't even gonna lie. That has to be the worst part about moving when you move on, when your season is trending on Netflix. Oh my goodness. I know Iris hates the fact that Married at First Sight is on Netflix because every time a new crop of people watch it, she gets hate. And that's sad. I hate that for her. I don't feel like she deserves it. That will be a sad fight. Chris can't fight. All he is my. I doubt Chris can fight. He does seem like he was a 45 supporter. Definitely. People were just caping for Jacob because Haley was a mean girl. I think that's why it was. He got Jacob actually got a really good edit, I think. Yep, Iris gets a lot of hate from being on Netflix. They haven't seen the other seasons because they're thank you. If y'all are going to Iris's page and sending her hate, you must not have possibly seen any season before or after. Cuz there have been way worse than Iris. I don't even think Iris deserves hate. Even okay, let's say Iris was being childish and didn't want to be intimate with her husband. Is that really so bad that y'all should go to her page and give her hate for it? Like, really? Like, that is, y'all are being childish. Now, when there have been other women who have done way worse, like, who was that girl? Who was that girl that emasculated her husband every chance she got? Katie is one of them. She used to do it to Derek. Like, she used to treat Derek like a child, straight up. But it was another girl from an earlier season, a white girl. She had brown hair and she was dealing with this like very meek man. He had black hair. I forgot her name. She was on one of the Where Are They Now? Sam. Y'all need to watch Sam's season. If you think Iris was bad, if you think Iris deserves hate, y'all need to see Sam had to literally come back on the Where Are They Now and cry and basically I feel like she was doing that just to get back in people's good graces because she came back and apologized and said she was dead wrong. It's like she really was going on like some sort of like apology tour type of thing. Free Iris from the Married at First Sight shackles. Exactly. She don't deserve it. Virgin shaming. Yes. Do you know how many women on this show went through this entire experiment without being intimate with their husbands? Like, why does Iris get all of that? Is Sam from the season in Chicago? Let me see. I forgot what. Does anybody know what Sam's season was? Because I sure don't remember. But I just remember her being nasty to him and emasculating him every chance she got. And then gonna be shocked when that man didn't want to be married to you. Like, girl, she was shocked and ran out crying. Why would anybody want to stay with you, girl? Molly too. Molly too. Molly was terrible to John. She was. She basically told him to her face that she wasn't attracted to him. She was just really nasty. Like, it's one thing to not be attracted to your husband, but it's another to be like nasty and rub it in their face. Sam was Atlanta season 3. Oh yeah. She sure was. She sure was. I don't know why it just came back to me, like their season. Sam and Neil. Poor Neil. I hope Neil found him a good woman that treat him right and uplift him, because he sure got tore down. Because Keith was attractive and people don't understand her reluctance. Just because y'all would go for it, and look, there's nothing wrong with, saying Keith's attractive, and if you were married to him, you would not have resisted. That's fine, but don't jump on Iris because she didn't. That's unfair. Because y'all, let me not get started, because Keith Hive gonna come in here and they gonna read me. With Trey and Vanessa, I had such high hopes for Trey and Vanessa, because like visually they were just so attractive. They just looked like the perfect couple, but Trey was trash. So here we go. Apparently, allegedly, he was cheating. I think Trey cheated on Vanessa. Keith has a hive, y'all. In case y'all didn't know, whenever I was reviewing Married at First Sight, their season, oh my goodness, don't let me say anything critical of Keith. We're gonna have women of all ages. My bad, y'all. Just women of all ages just coming in, going off on me, okay? And then the people, y'all know how I know people be watching, how people watch Married at First Sight on Netflix, because they come to my reviews and they comment as if the show is still being aired currently. And so the people, whenever they see me criticize Keith, they still to this day will come up under my videos and be defending Keith. Yet the Keith Hive is vicious on Twitter. Child, I'm glad I'm not on Twitter. Child, I had to get up off Twitter. They vicious about everything over there. I can't. Did Vanessa ever find someone? Not that I know of. Not that I know of, because I follow her. And I saw that she came out with something recently. She launched some sort of product or something like that. But not that I know of. Keith, the black guy, I'm talking about Keith that was married to Iris. Keith was recruited just like Clara and Ryan. Oh yeah, that's another thing that Clara and Ryan talked about, is that they asked how they signed up for Married at First Sight, and basically they slid in their DMs, reached out to them and asked them did they want to do it. I'm tired of this recruiting. Ooh, Nate and Sheila. I went back and watched their season. When I tell you, Nate and Sheila got on my last nerves. And for whatever reason, I put all the blame on Nate when I first watched it. But rewatching it, it was Sheila too. It was her too. She had some deep-seated issues she needed to work on as well. But Nate was way too childish. Way too childish. And he, like, that was the definition of love bombing. You know how they say, I'm not saying he's a narcissist, but you know how they say narcissists will love bomb you. That was love bombing. I didn't like the way he treated her, but she had her stuff going on too. They were both toxic. You think Sheila got a bad edit? Possibly. But from what I saw, they supposedly have these applicants, but they keep recruiting people from social media. Oh my goodness. Nate's daddy. Oh my goodness. Nate's daddy at their wedding. I mean, he got up there and acted a whole. Look, I probably would have been out. That would have been the moment that made me scratch my head and be like, do I really want to join this family? Because on top of his daddy getting up and making a speech and like really like acting a whole fool at their wedding, his mom was like not accepting of Sheila whatsoever, like at all. Like she was resisting him getting married in front of Sheila's face, and Sheila was trying to like, be nice to the lady, and she was not cooperating at all. Child, Mika and Michael, I just saw on like I saw on I follow a Married at First Sight group on Facebook, and somebody on there said that they spotted Michael out with whoever his current fiance is, and that they was arguing for 2 hours. They were at some kind of bounce place for kids where they, do all that jumping. And they said, she said they was sitting over there arguing for 2 hours. I was like, I cannot. We got a more. I'm gonna talk about the new cast. I'm gonna talk about season 13 cast in another live. We'll have all. I haven't even watched the casting special. I haven't watched nothing. Really, all I've seen is their picture. And I've seen their occupation. I saw like a little article with what they do or whatever, but I really don't know much about them, so I can't really speak on it too much because, low-key, I haven't been interested. I'm kind of waiting for the first episode, low-key. Ryan and Jessica, oh my goodness, that was a whole train wreck. Michael was probably lying. Oh my goodness. Maisha, I'm telling you, the people that dislike Mika, y'all would have hated me. Y'all don't like Mika. Y'all think she had a bad attitude dealing with Michael. Y'all would have hated me. Okay? Because I'm not letting nothing slide. I'm not letting nothing slide. After you lie to me, maybe a couple of times, I'm trying to like figure you out. When I figure out you a liar, I'm not letting nothing slide. Okay? I loved Mika too. I loved Mika because I hate it when women come on this show, and I don't want to be a victim blamer. So I'm not trying to blame the women, but I like to see women step up, stick up for themselves. I like to see women put their foot down and not let men walk all over them. Like, I'm not just going along to get along. No. I'm finna stand up for myself. You ain't finna just get by with lying to my face whenever you feel like it. No. Sorry. No. And how anybody could blame Mika for acting like that, I don't know. I just don't get it. I just don't get how anybody could be mad at Mika. Like, why are you mad at her? Be mad at the liar. Mika didn't even have a chance to show her real personality because she was constantly being slapped in the face with lies. He was insulting her intelligence at every turn. She held him accountable. Thank you. I defended Mika. I think the dislike of her was the angry black woman trope that experts tried to gaslight Mika, in my opinion. They didn't do nasty, like, exactly. Katie got away with murder from the experts. For real. She got away with murder. I feel like, now I will say, I feel like the audience did, at the end there, they let Katie have it. They still letting Katie have it. I ain't gonna lie. But the experts let her slide. While Mika, she had to, she had to dumb herself down and pretend like she didn't see what she was saying. And I have to embrace Michael because and yes, Michael has a tragic story. His mother wasn't there for him. He, learned to lie from an early age because I guess he didn't have much and he lied about it. But that's not my problem, y'all. That's not my problem. Why would y'all choose somebody with all that baggage for me to have to sit up here and be his counselor? That's not fair. That's not fair. Does Katie have any fans? I don't know. I saw that Katie just got married. And hopefully, hopefully she's changed her ways. Hopefully this the man of her dreams. Okay? But a part of me feels like she chose somebody to treat her the way she wanted to be treated. And Derek treated her too well, and she didn't like that. She didn't want a nice man. She wanted somebody that is going to walk all over her, talk to her crazy, dog her out. Because Derek, he seemed like he just... And I do think Derek needed to put his foot down more, but that wasn't a reason to treat him that way. Katie wanted a roughneck. A roughneck or a redneck? Killer of dreams. She wouldn't let this man dream. She wouldn't let this man dream. He didn't say he was going to quit his job. He said he wanted to have a hobby. Elizabeth and Jamie, child, I'm shocked they still together too, low key. I feel like they thrive on dysfunction, but I kind of feel like they thrive on dysfunction. Some people say they're going to counseling and they're doing better. I don't watch them currently, so I don't know. I wouldn't know. But from the season I saw, they thrive on dysfunction. When she threw that table across the room, when he told her to shut up in front of everybody, look, they did too many things I would have never put up with. Jamie got liposuction on couples cam. What kind of show is this? Like, I understand we're showing our life or whatever, but I don't know. Couples cam don't do it for me. Davina from season 2 had a lot of personal issues too. She wanted almost nothing to do with her East Indian culture. I don't remember too much from her relationship, but I could believe that. He looked turned on when she threw that table. Wait. Who is he? Wait, Jamie, you're not talking about Jamie from the first season married to Doug. You're talking about Jamie, the man married to Elizabeth. Why did he get liposuction? What is going on? Couples cam comes off fake to me, like they're doing skits. Whenever I watch couples cam, the only people that come off like they're being genuine all the way is Shanice and Jeffy. They don't mind putting it all out there, letting it all hang out. Cause you can't tell me the rest of them don't be having arguments. They just ain't trying to pull out their camera and film it. You can't leave it up to them to film. Kanye did it. Well, you know what? These gender neutral names got you mixed up. I know. I like whenever somebody says Jamie, I always just assume the lady. But you know what? I mean, I'm not like, if you want to get liposuction, that's fine. I thought it was weird when I thought it was Jamie the woman getting liposuction. Jamie the man getting liposuction is equally as odd. Like, why are you putting that on there? I guess you're showing your life. I guess. At this point, arguing is Shanice and Jeffy's little storyline. I think that's their day to day. You know, I don't think that's like, I think that's their day to day. I don't think they're doing it for the camera. I think they're just recording what was actually happening. Because everything about them, regardless of how you feel about them, everything about them gives me real and raw. They being honest. I just think they being extremely honest. Jeff D told her on camera he wanted a divorce. What? Jeff D and Shanice didn't need intensive therapy. I could see that. I think they need it separately as well as couples. Jamie Otis' face all mashed up with these fillers. She be getting fillers, y'all. She looking closer and closer to Aubrey. Child, she ain't getting that many fillers, is she? I haven't looked at her in a long time. Calf implants. Jeff D gaslights her continuously. I agree. I totally can see that. I totally can see that. Their baby looks just like Shanice. The baby is so cute. Oh my goodness, their baby is so adorable. And she does look like Shanice. Had Shanice not held onto the relationship like a G.I. Joe with Kung Fu grip, they may have gotten a divorce by now. Oh my goodness. But for real, like, I feel like she is the one, like, from the beginning, she's the one who has been trying to make it work. Because Jeff T has been so aloof this entire time. And I could totally see him gaslighting her because he's been gaslighting her since the beginning. Like when they were on the honeymoon, he kept on saying, but we're strangers, but we're strangers. I can't do this. We're strangers. You're married. You're married, sir. Regardless, I don't care if you did just meet her yesterday. You can no longer say we're strangers and turn around and we're married. No. That's that same game. That's the same game Karen was playing at the honeymoon. You're my stranger. Y'all need to take that out of your vocabulary. I don't care if it's true. I never saw them long term. I think he stays because of the child. He doesn't seem too into Shanice. Never did. Sadly. Where you been, Cliff? Usually you be in here causing havoc.